Yo, what's up, Famcast? Welcome back to another Famcast episode. Today we bring you episode number 15. It's been long overdue. It's just we've been stuck on holidays, celebrating, hanging out with the family and stuff. So yeah, we've been MIA for a while, but we're back. And it's a new year, 2021. Happy New Year's from Famcast, and wish you guys all the
Año
best.
nuevo.
You have anything to say, Nano?
Feliz año nuevo, feliz
Yeah,
fiestas y estamos vivos, estamos felices
yeah,
y sigue el Famcast.
heck yeah, heck yeah. So today we want to bring more of a positive vibe into 2021. So we're gonna try to focus on a positive episode. Try not to worry about what's going on right now. We may end up talking about it. We never know. It just conversation lead to certain things. I don't know. We don't know. But yeah. So we're gonna try to keep it very, very positive. Just something you guys can stay. Maybe something that'll uplift you guys. Maybe help you guys out throughout this whole year. 2021. 2020 was a crazy, very bizarre year. Um, I know for everyone, it was for everyone. We were all in it. Um, if something was happening to you guys, majority of the time it was happening to us or someone that we loved. Um, but yeah, 2021. We hope it's different. We hope we get to hang out with one another more. Because 2020 wasn't really a year, to live life. So much. It was just all bad. There's so much bad stuff going on throughout the whole year. But yeah, here we are. So like I said, we're gonna start off with the positive vibes. So yeah, 2021's been pretty good to me, personally. I don't know how it's been going for you, Nano. Um, it's been pretty well for you.
Ah.
Yeah,
You know what? Hey, you know what? If there's anything that I've learned is that you learn from what you focus on. And in that case, yeah, heck yeah. My heart's beating. I'm alive. I'm breathing, and more importantly, it's the important things that matter are the important things that I see. And heck yeah, 2020 has already been off to a good start. Having support is by far one of the things that our society, a lot of folks in our society don't have, and I'm very, very fortunate to have support, have people around me that love me and care about me, and help me remember that, especially in times where it's not the easiest to remember. So, kind of the hence of this episode, focusing on the positive, focusing on the good. We're 10 days in, and I've been able to spend time with the people that have been influencing me in the positive perspective of understanding like life isn't easy, and we are who we are. We're human, and things happen. When things happen, it doesn't just happen to us. Like you, that was beautiful in how you encompass that, because if it's happening to one individual, it's happened already to another individual,
yeah,
and that individual is going to give you insight and help you make decisions that are actually going to be prosperous versus decisions that are just going to keep you in a hole. And so I'm definitely very grateful to my family, to people that's just been reaching out, and especially people who have been reaching out that I haven't had the ability to reach back out to.
yeah,
And that in itself, like those messages are not being read, but they're being seen, and that just goes further than where again that negative prospect doesn't take us. We focus from the positive, and you see that
yeah,
no estamos solos. So I'm very fortunate for that, and that's how my year has started off. It's just been one of those years that you 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 have to see the good in people. You have to see the good in what's to come, because that's just gonna give you motivation to wake up the next day and say, all right, let's do this.
yeah.
Or me lately, it's been cleaning. Like beach cleaning has been that. Like, all right, I'm gonna pat myself on the back today because I cleaned the dishes. That's good. We're good.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, what about you? Talk to me about your first 10 days.
Yeah. So my first 10 days, I mean, pretty usual. Go to work, stuff like that. But I don't know. I just tackled on the day differently now. Like, just wake up positive every day. Just wake up smiling. I'm happy that I'm breathing. Got the chance to live. Because not everyone gets the chance to live, man. And that's why I appreciate every day I get now. Because like how we were saying, like 2020, we didn't know if we're who knows if we're gonna wake up the next day, and that taught me a lesson is appreciate you're that you're breathing and you and your family wake up side by side and you guys just take on the day together. Um, so I learned that from well, it was like towards the end of December when I first started. I started a new project, and the project I started was writing in a journal on the daily. It was probably like I started. I think the 10th of no, yeah, it was probably like the 10th of December when I first got a journal. And just started writing every day. Just positive affirmations. Things I have, things I want to, messages that I want to leave for whoever comes across that journal. They can read things that I wrote. And hopefully it uplifts them and gives them motivation and shows them the positive side of life. And so yeah, with that project, it really helped me figure myself out more and more, and it just really taught me to appreciate life and everything around it and everything that surrounds me. So yeah, the first couple of days, first couple 10 days of 2021 is pretty good. Pretty smooth. Yeah, there's some things going around in the states right now, and I mean, I still try to keep a positive mind always. But yeah, that journal. When I first started it, what happened was I was at work, and so we're contracted with a different company. Basically, it's an outreach program to the community, um, and they do everything from helping the community with food, any applications like unemployment, job search, stuff like that. And the girl that sits next to me, they had extra binders and notebooks, agendas. They had all kinds of these things, and she handed me a journal. She's like, "Hey, you want this notebook?" And I was like, and I looked at it at first, and I was just like, I was like, nah, you know what? I guess I'll take it. And from that point on, I remember when she clocked out, I stayed an hour later. And when I stayed an hour later, when I stayed that same day, that hour later, I thought about it. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write. So that's when I first wrote into a journal, and then I read over it. I read what I wrote, and I was just like, man, like this is something that can probably help anybody, and hopefully it does. And my whole overall objective of that project is to fill in every page in that book, in that journal, and just give it to someone randomly or someone within the family and let them deal with the way they want to spread out the messages. If they want to keep it, they can keep it. If they feel they see someone that is needing a positive push or just positive vibes, they can they can just hand off that book, and just keep it going around and around. Cool thing about it too is I'm not putting my name on there. I'm not putting no name, no dates, no nothing. So it's a free for all. So it's just gonna keep going and going. And, who knows where it goes if it doesn't reach anyone else or anything, and it just stays within the family. Well, I'm just gonna keep writing in journals. I'm gonna keep purchasing new notebooks and stuff, and just keep writing and writing. But yeah, that's a project that I'm doing now. Pretty cool. It helped me out. It helped myself. It just helped me figure out who I was, and so I mean, so it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Who is Chris?
A new person every day.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And we have to. I mean, it's proof that we're growing. It's proof
Yeah.
that we're not the same person we were yesterday. But it doesn't mean that who we were yesterday doesn't influence who we are today at all.
Exactly. Yeah.
We do. We influence ourselves every single day, and that's beautiful.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing something like that.
Yeah. So, but man, yeah, just stay positive, man. It's, I mean, one is life's too short
Yes.
to be angry. Um, I've taught myself. It's crazy because I've taught myself to look at negative ways and turning them into a positive way.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because I even before this time, before I even started this, I was just like, there ain't no way a negative outcome of something can be something positive. But if you really, but I really paid attention, like deep inside of me, and really thought of it over and over, and I found ways to stay positive, and even even through certain situations, and it's really helped me. And I mean, that's those are the types of things you can find in the book that I'm writing in, and or the journal I'm writing in, not a book. But yeah, just positive affirmations and stuff. So, but
What's one that you can think of off the top of your head that you've written?
off the head, um, let me see. You know what? I have the book here. Let me see. Yeah, there's one that I really like. Let me just um. Sorry about that. Let me see. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. On the spot. I love this.
Yeah. So
Thank you for sharing it.
yeah. So one of my favorite ones that I wrote is I don't know what made me write about it. But one day I was just sitting at work. It was almost clock out time, and I was just sitting there thinking. It was pretty slow, so I took the time to write something down, and I wrote this down. And it goes, "Don't judge one's journey, because we don't know one's purpose. Rather than judging, help one figure out why they stand in a certain path. You may never know, and you may never know, and you may be their answer, or they may be yours." So, yeah. So basically, like I said, I don't know what made me write that down, but I felt like that's something that can have someone basically look at a certain person differently, rather than judging straight off the bat. And because I remember growing up too, we hung out with certain people, and certain people would be like, that guy or that girl, they look like, so like it was just bad, just talking kinds of trash. And it was like, I mean, deep inside I felt it like, oh, you shouldn't be saying that, but then I was hanging out with the guys and stuff, so I was just like, it's just like a peer pressure, and you don't want to be the one, you want to be singled out, and, you just want to be a cool kid and stuff. So this hopefully this reaches out to kids, like in 6th grade, maybe even younger, and hopefully they read that and realize that judging's not always, judging's not a good thing. Like I said, rather than judging, help that person figure out why they stand in a certain path. And you never, like it says, you never know. You may be their answer, or they may be yours. So, but yeah, that's some positive. There's so much in there, and I look back at the pages that I wrote before, and I'm just like, dude, I've been writing a lot. That's cool. So it's something I'm actually sticking to. So, which is cool, because I tend to do something for a while, and then I'll drift away from it, and I won't do it again. But yeah, this is something that it got me glued to it, and it's something I really want to do. So hopefully it helps people out. Hopefully it reaches you guys soon. You know, hopefully you guys get a chance to read the book. Um, there's no chronicle way in reading it. It's just if you flip a page, you know, you never know. It may be fate. You know, you open the book and you open a certain page and you never know. You know, it's just words, just written down in paper. But but yeah.
That's awesome. I love that because it's especially when you releasing judgment it does exactly that. You would create win-win solutions for the other individual that you could be judging or yourself because when you release judgment, you bring in worth, you bring in understanding and a curiosity to understand. And that's knowledge evolving into wisdom in itself.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. I mean, we had a podcast of quotes of wisdom, and same way, you know, like how we're speaking the words of people that touched us with their words to everyone else on YouTube. I mean, I took that same approach on that, and come to realize that speaking words of wisdom, but through pages, through books, or through a journal, and I mean, which is cool, and it's cool because I left like some room for like extra notes and stuff. So if you guys ever come across it and there's rooms to write, you know, there's room for you to write in there and just keep it going, you know. But yeah, it's just wisdom in the book.
Wisdom in a book. Hey, you know what? There's a lot of those. I have they're not with they're in my hallway, but these books from this curriculum called Conscious Discipline, and each book is dedicated to, you know, that big Managing Emotional Mayhem book is to the release of judgment. The smaller one is one of them is dedicated to the self-esteem. A third one is dedicated to using your voice, like you yourself individually, your voice, whether that's to say, you know, that's the star nebula or just, you know, using virtual backgrounds. Like using your voice has such an impact on the world and within yourself. Because we all have our own world within our own brain. We're all a product of that in itself. And so it's really cool because it, like, especially on days where I'm like, I have no energy to read a chapter book right now, but then there's these like they're adult books, but they're made for the adult child. And they're really, really cool because it has that narrative of positive perspective, recognizing that no one is malintent, and when folks are malintent, these are the folks that are asking for help.
Yeah.
If you know, individual does something like judge, this person is judging themselves. They're asking for help because they see themselves through this narrative of judgment, and that's, like you said, we can be the source of help for that individual. We can be the source of answers, but they're being a source of answers to us as well.
Exactly.
We're learning something about them. We're understanding, hey, you're not just judgmental because you're choosing to. You have this narrative, this ideology of the way things should be, and the truth is, it's not like that. Humans don't have the natural instinct to attack. Humans have the natural instinct to survive, and if attacking means survive, then that's what they're doing. They're not hurting; they're trying to survive. And I love that because it encompasses that in what you were saying, because it's open-ended too. It's individualistic to the individual's experiences. Like you said, it can be a sixth grader who's going through peer pressure in a world where peer pressure is just so normalized.
Yeah.
Or it can be that in a society where judgment is normalized, we're breaking that cycle. We're breaking that. No, it's really, we're not going to judge. And I think that's super cool.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And I'm telling you, like, if you think about it, well, if me remembering back when I was in middle school and stuff, that things like that would cross my mind, but I don't know, like the other part of me would tell me, nah, don't speak up because then your friends are gonna think you're lame and they ain't gonna want to hang out with you, and and so I wouldn't speak up. And now realizing that, to this day, I'm just like, man, if I would have spoken up, then I could have I could have taught them a not well, I could have taught them something that may would have helped them out throughout their their times throughout grade school and stuff, and maybe teach them the way to see life differently and see other people and accept them for who they are rather than what they look like. And but yeah, man, that's that positive approach I'm trying to take. um and then you're saying something earlier right now. You said something about thoughts. You're talking about thoughts and stuff like that. um I forget. I forgot.
Releasing your thoughts.
Yeah, releasing your thoughts and stuff.
Like, if I'm not mistaken, if what it was is like when you see an individual and you want to say hi, but your thought automatically is that of saying hi, but there's so many different ways to say hi. You can say hola. You can say there's ways of getting people's attention too, and that thought cycle is that in itself. So if you assume that this person only speaks English, you're never going to encompass this idea that you're going to say hola, or vice versa. If this person thinks that you only speak English and they only speak Spanish, that thought cycle, it limits us to that reality. But if we look at it from the perspective of openness, that thought doesn't just become knowledge, information, it becomes wisdom, because now you're actually going to behave, right? Hola, ¿hablas español or do you speak English?
Yeah.
Or, approaching it from that sense where you're releasing this idea of how things should be, and you're just affirming how it is. And so I use it in the bilingual perspective because that's it. A lot that really, really hits home, for another way of saying it. But also, it's in all rounds. Like, I think of it like releasing your thought when someone does something wrong. Like, a person doesn't do something wrong. It's our thought, our judgment believes that what they're doing is wrong. Now, when a person hurts themselves, yeah, we can give it a right way of being, but we're not accepting what is. We're not affirming what is. We have to genuinely come from the reality of it is what it is, affirm it, accept it, and then move forward with it. What can I do to help?
Mm-hmm.
What can I do to I see that you hurt yourself. Do you need some assistance? Because then the thought is it opens up more opportunity, more thought that is going to be helpful thought than judgmental thought.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what I was talking about?
Yeah,
Exactly. Is that what I was talking about?
Yeah. And which is true, and then like that leads back to what I was telling you too, is basically either you're their answer or they're your answer. But I don't know. Yeah.
I say from many perspectives of like, it just helps. It helps when you do not jump to a conclusion.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have all the information. Jumping to conclusions leads us into trouble. It leads us into narrow-minded thinking. But if instead of jumping to conclusions, we say, okay, I see that this. I'll use myself as an example. Like, friends and family members have been trying to reach out, and I don't know. I'm terrible at answering the phone too. But my friends and family can see it as like I'm ignoring them, or they can see it as okay, there's something going on.
Yeah.
Right. Which is gonna actually be win-win for both, because I can look at it even from the perspective of people keep calling me, and I'm not doing that thing to answer. And instead of judging myself, I can genuinely see, okay, there's something going on. Vice versa, they can see it as there's something going on, and instead of giving up, or instead of saying, I'm not going to reach out to this person until this person reaches back out, it's going to be, I'm going to try again tomorrow. Tomorrow's a new day, tomorrow's a different perspective, right? When we see it from the positive perspective, we see that no one's lives revolves around no one else's life. Everyone has the world in their head, and they navigate through it that way. And
Yeah.
that to me, I think, is a lot more beautiful, a lot more uniting than that. Again, jumping to conclusions, because there is no right conclusion to jump to when there's not information to be had or to be addressed, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's where that reality of like falling into the peer pressure. No one has to answer every single phone call they get, but the ones that they do answer, it's recognizing how the approach is. Is it a positive approach? Is it a negative approach? And I love the practice of positive affirmations is that of recognizing the positive in everything that we see and everyone that we encounter, because that's the world. Everywhere we go, people are gonna have good days and are gonna have bad days, but they're not just gonna have a good day or a bad day. Sometimes within a good day you have bad things that happen, and sometimes within a bad day you have things that you just wish wouldn't have happened. But you learn from what you focus on, and the beautiful day is today, and the beautiful day is gonna come tomorrow too.
And I remember, I don't know if you remember. Remember when we tried doing that first podcast on what was it? Philosophical questions.
Yeah, philosophical questions.
And remember when I was trying to explain to you like so hard about what a perfect life was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then exactly.
Perfect life.
Yeah, exactly what you're saying right now. Like how exactly what you're saying, that some days may be good, some days may be bad, but sometimes a good day has bad things in it. But exactly how you said that, that's how I was trying to explain to you what a perfect life was to me. A perfect life isn't all just a perfect life isn't just the good things in it. It's all the aspects of life within one. So that's what I was trying to like exactly how you're saying that. And I was like, "Oh man, that's an easier way to put it than what I was trying to explain before." But
there's the rainbow metaphor.
yeah.
You can't have a rainbow without the rainstorm. There's just no way.
Yeah.
That rainbow with that rain. The thing is, the rainbow is beautiful. It encompasses. Hey, there was just this crazy.
Yeah.
You know, some might say ugly. I think storms are beautiful, but like this darkness that hovered over it. Now you have this like really really beautiful rainbow, and to just encompass the reality. Not everybody sees the rainbow.
Yeah.
And not everyone lives through the rainstorm, and not everyone. It's where you find yourself in each scenario, and I think the beautiful thing is that like perspectives like what you and I have is that it encompasses all. I can be in the middle of the rainstorm and still find the beauty. I will dance in the rain, and I'm that person. And more importantly too, to dance in the rain doesn't mean to be sick. To dance in the rain just means to be where you are at, and know that there's nothing else I can do other than move my body to the rhythm of what's happening in life.
Yeah.
That is what makes me happy, and that is what my world, the world that I live in, does for me.
Yeah,
and then at the end of it, after the rainstorm, look at that. What? There's another rainbow. Oh, a bailar otra vez.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I think for me, anything that kept me pushing is music. Music has been my like. I haven't been writing. I've been reading lyrics, and lyrics that I've been reading have touched my heart to its core, where I always say like, damn, why couldn't I write this? Why wasn't I the one who wrote this? And it's because I'm not supposed to. I'm supposed to learn from the wisdom that's come before me, and that to me is even more beautiful, because when I read lyrics from Juan Gabriel, and I'll just think to myself, oh my God, like this man is singing to pain. He's singing to pain, to a pain that doesn't encompass the beauty of what this song is. And then you really recognize, wow, no, you're not alone. Like if these lyrics connect with you in such a profound way, and they were written in a long time ago, ago, for lack of another way of saying it, or written years ago, like, people live through experiences and survive them because of this storytelling. It's music, it's an art, it's a form of expression. And all the more reasoning to me to really encompass this idea that, like, no one is alone in experiences. We look at that, then yeah, of course we're going to focus on that there's nobody here. But at least for me, music has been something that has genuinely reminded me that the things that I go through, these experiences that I have, they're a lot more universal than I believe they are to be. And when I look at it from that understanding, if I believe that the things that I'm reading and the things that I'm experiencing are a lot more universal, I recognize that I'm not alone in it.
Yeah.
And that's, I think for a lot of people, feeling alone can be very scary, but it's what makes our experiences unique, but also it's a narrative that isn't ours because we're not alone. Especially humans, we seek connection. The moment we stop seeking connection, then yeah, there's mental, psychological issues happening. But in all respect, we're not alone.
Mm.
We can't. We physically cannot be alive if we truly are alone. When we as a human stop seeking connection, it's when we need the most help.
Yeah.
And that's the fact that we are seeking connection, the fact that we are looking for like-minded individuals. That's beautiful. That just means that you're being human. You're being human. You're being human self. So connect with the world, connect with lyrics, connect with affirmations.
Yeah.
Keep it up.
Yeah, you saying that reminds me of another thing I wrote in the book too, in the journal. I had wrote, if I remember correctly, it goes, sometimes I speak quotes that I created in my own head, or sometimes I write them, and people read them and say, hey, so-and-so said that, basically taking away the credit for me. And then rather than getting angry and debating and fighting that I created that, I think to myself and say, hey, there's someone thinking similarly like exactly like you, which makes me, like, I feel there's everyone is on a mission. Everyone's on a mission, and I believe everyone is knowledge and everyone has knowledge that we all need to soak in. And that's that when you were saying that, like, Juan Gabriel is speaking his wisdom and stuff, or it's just everything's relevant. Everything will always be, I feel like everything will always be relevant in some shape, some form, and you never know. And I remember when I was boxing, when I was in high school, I remember this guy had told me, and he's like, man, he goes, if anyone tries to teach you anything, even though it doesn't seem important right now, or it means nonsense to you, he goes, don't forget it, because you never know when you come across a certain situation and you're gonna need that form of advice. And I was like, damn. And to tell you the truth, I came across so many situations. I'm like, dude, that didn't even mean nothing to me, but now it does. I'm just like, dude. but yeah, man. Like, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel everything's relevant. Everything will become relevant. Everyone will become relevant. Either it can be one time or it can be forever. It just Juan Gabriel is saying for certain people to understand, to get them through a certain situation, maybe something he's been through, and Bob Marley's trying to speak to other people, different ways. I feel like we're all like some way, some shape, form of a modern prophet. We all have, I don't know. I feel like we all can speak words of wisdom to anybody, and the way we're speaking right now, this can basically touch someone like, damn, like these guys are, You know, they're speaking truth, and it's helping me. Others, it may not. But like how I said before, you never know. You never know when you're gonna need this information. And who knows, 10, 15, 20 years from now, they bounce back and then realize, like, dude, like these guys said we're talking about this before, and and it's so relevant now. But yeah, I don't know. I feel everything and everyone will be relevant, like in some way. It can be tomorrow. It can be later tonight, or it can be, I don't know how long. But yeah, like take everything in. We're all our brain's a sponge. Make your brain a sponge and just soak it all in. Hold it. And then if you feel whatever you're holding in, and you see someone that needs that format of advice, drain it. Let them soak it in. Share it. Because all knowledge should be shared and should be soaked in. But yeah, heck yeah. But I don't know, man.
Something positive. Oxytocin, y'all. Oxytocin is literally the thing that our brain produces to heal itself. It's when you give somebody a high five, a smile, even a smile. When you smile, you produce serotonin. You cannot smile if you're not producing serotonin.
Yeah.
You have to force that. So even if you force yourself to smile, force it, dude. Like, it's worth it because you start producing serotonin that motivates you to seek more oxytocin.
Yeah.
Oxytocin is when you give somebody a hug, you give somebody a high five, you tell someone, you give somebody a pat on the back, like, and then to recognize, like, if these are things, like me, for example, I live alone. I don't come home and someone gives me a hug or to ask me, how's your day been? That doesn't happen for me. So I genuinely have to find my oxytocin. I have to pat myself on the back. I have to thank myself for getting up and washing dishes. And as ridiculous as it sounds, that's not ridiculous, because that's that judgmental mind. Learn for what you focus on. If I'm washing dishes to create a clean space because I know my brain fosters in clean spaces, I'm gonna pat myself on the back 2 more times for doing it. if it's getting out of bed to get up and get water, we're made out of over 70% water. Anytime we restore a piece of ourselves, as I do right now, way to go, Nano. Drink some water. You're restoring a piece of yourself that no one can take away from you now.
Yeah.
That's oxytocin, serotonin building in as one, and that one is me.
Yeah.
And that's on a scientific level. Now I'm just on the human level. I've hydrated myself. I've made myself. I've uplifted myself. I've done something for myself that is life-saving, because there's things that happen in life that can be detrimental to your health. And so it's recognizing that, take it back to the basic. If you feel like you can't catch your breath, or you feel your heart racing so fast that you feel like it's going to pop out of your chest, have a seat. Relax. Take a deep breath and drink some water. Because these are the things that your body needs to produce serotonin, oxytocin, these chemicals, legit chemicals that your body produces, that are going to determine whether you wake up having a great day or whether you go to sleep knowing that it was a worst day ever. We need these chemicals. We need these chemicals to such an extent that they help us when we're feeling hungry, when we're feeling tired, when we're feeling stressed or overwhelmed. Like, these things are actual chemicals that are happening through your body that respond to your bodily behavior and evoke your bodily behavior. It's reminding yourself of those things, and to just, like I said, pat yourself in the back when the world is saying, "Oh my God, look what you did."
Yeah.
Pat yourself in the back, because now the world has an eye on you. The world's looking at you, and when you pat yourself on the back, the world might learn to pat themselves on the back too.
Yeah, exactly. Heck yeah. I don't know. So much positivity.
Positivity.
Positivity. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. You have to take the day on positive. You know, because we're all we can all be mirror images to people around us. So a lot of times, if you're negative, and it can. I feel like if I wake up very mad, negative, this and that, then it'll reflect that energy will be passed on to to my son, or it can be passed on to whoever's around and stuff, and it just creates a sour world, and you don't want that. Just
And then I have on the curriculum that I use for emotional wellness. Your anger is not negative. It's our judgment towards our anger that is the negative thing. Because your anger is actually the most helpful and positive thing. It's a force of love.
mm-hmm.
You become angry when
You
the
want
person
some.
who as you were driving, somebody cut you off, and you're angry because this person just cut you off. He put your life at risk. You're not angry that they cut you off. You're angry that they put your life at risk, and it becomes this whole other narrative where the only thing that you can do in that moment is change.
Yeah.
Slow down, understand that this person might be rushing. Maybe they didn't see you, because that's the very main message of anger. Change your perspective, change your relationship, change the setting, change your response to the emotion coming in the first place. That is, to me, is so life-saving, because then it invites the anger. It says,
mm-hmm.
be angry. I think especially with our political climate today, be angry, y'all. This is what's going to help us change. Mm-hmm. And this is what our society needs, change. If what happened in the past, what didn't work before is not working, and we see this narrative of collective organization, change your narrative, change your setting, change the way you see it, change your approach, because then and even I think for me, one of the things that has been the most helpful, change my information, change the way my source of information. Where am I receiving my information? Am I receiving truthful information, or am I not receiving truthful information? Question your sources, because then you're doing exactly what your anger wants you to do. Change, create change. And so the anger becomes a lot more positive. It becomes a lot more of a good thing than a bad thing. It becomes something that you want versus something that you're trying to suppress. And then you recognize, it makes me want to pull out the letter and just read the letter. But I won't do that, just because it's scared, sadness, anger. These emotions are life-saving emotions that we have to welcome them.
Mm-hmm.
If you leave them out in the porch, or if you try to suppress it, or if you try to drown it with other chemicals, that's the negative. You're focusing on the negative. But if you welcome these emotions, if you welcome sadness, you recognize that there's something that you've lost, that you valued, and now this is my only way of expressing it. It's sad.
Yeah.
Scared is a 911. If my safety is being threatened, I'm gonna be scared. It becomes a survival response, and that's actually a good thing. That's cortisol that's rushing through my body that is saving my life. The longer it stays, of course, it deteriorates. That's why we have to learn to release our fear. To say, I'm scared of the bear, but I'm gonna take a couple steps back from that bear to stay as far away as possible. That's actually a life-saving thing. Anger. You become angry when something that you want to happen is not manifesting the way you want it to happen. When your child yells back at you, that's probably gonna piss you off. But again, change. Well, change the way you're responding to your child. If you don't want your child to yell at you, yelling at your child is not gonna
help.
Get that.
Yeah.
So change. Use the anger for change as to, hey, you know what? Maybe I've yelled at you in the past, but we don't yell at each other, okay? it just changes the narrative,
Yeah.
it changes the conversation. It and then also it just allows for accountability of the emotion. It allows the emotion to hijack your body as it's meant to, but it doesn't allow you to become the emotion. It creates a win-win solution for you and the situation. It becomes a lot more of a beautiful thing then. And two, when you invite the emotion in, you don't just invite that emotion, you invite any emotion that comes with it. When you are sad, it's because you lost something that you value. So what is a win-win solution? Seek something you love, because that's going to produce serotonin to invite more happiness, more joy, more happiness. And that serotonin, it elevates you from this level of being sad. Serotonin, again, provides motivation, it provides creativity, and fosters these things that when we're sad, we don't always encompass. I know a lot of times, like I said, when I'm sad, I don't even want to answer my phone. I don't want to look at my phone. I don't want to deal with the world in that sense. But when I invite my own sadness, I say, you know what, I'm going to take some time to just process what's going on, and process these emotions that I'm experiencing, so that what I can do, that I can, when that phone call comes again, I'm going to answer it. It's not even going to be thinking twice, because the body itself didn't suppress serotonin. It didn't try to produce it on a extreme level to be happy, to just get through the day. No, it was low level serotonin, and our body now created a change. Now we're going to produce higher levels of serotonin because we embraced the sadness. We invited it in. We said, it is what it is. Here we are. Salen las lágrimas, o sea, X, como cualquier persona expresa su tristeza. Cuando la invita todas las emociones que vienen con esas, y va a ser la felicidad que viene con la tristeza, porque estábamos tristes porque algo que perdimos que valoramos. Así que, ¿qué fue la cosa que perdí? Y con esas memorias que se vuelven tesoros, se sale la felicidad, que hasta valoras más, entiendes más. Y o sea, cuando estás con tus seres queridos, o sea, la gente que tú amas, los amas más, los entiendes más, porque ya sabes lo que es perder algo que valoras. Y, o sea, te ayuda la emoción a comprender cosas hasta que ni pudiste, si lo superas. O no superas, digo, si lo resistes. Si lo resistes.
Heck yeah. That's true. Now that I think about it, no, I mean, people think you're sad because you're gonna be sad, but and I think how where you're talking about anger, sadness, and you said another one, scared. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know how to. A lot of people don't really know how to take that and see why you're actually feeling that type of way. And I don't know, I feel like it kind of connects to where I said, where connects to that, think the positive, like why are you scared, affirm that, because of it's you're scared, like how you said, you're scared because it's something threatening your life, and which is true. And then, I mean, but when we're actually scared, we don't think of that. We just think of the situation, but we don't realize that we're scared because I'm being threatened, or I can be harmed in that certain situation. But yeah, it's cool that you said that. 'Cause now that changes the way I see that now. Yeah. So every time I was scared, it wasn't because I'm scared of what's going on. I'm scared of for myself, for my sake.
Yeah, the 911.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, we talked about this, like, perceived scare, and sometimes people think we're crazy because of what we're scared of, but we don't know what people have lived through. We don't know the life that an individual has had to face and how many times that individual has had believed in their own life that their safety was threatened.
Yeah.
I think especially when it comes to women. Women live in a misogynistic society. They're being threatened 24/7, and yet we have the narrative that women aren't allowed to be angry or women shouldn't be angry. It's like, nah, how are you not going to be angry when you grow in a world that produces violence towards women? Like, understand that narrative and understand your role in that, and then you won't be asking why are you mad. You're gonna be mad with them.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
just as pissed the fuck off, because now, on top of the fact that they're being mistreated through violence, they're also not being paid equal, which produces more violence. It's violent when women are not paid to the dollar that men are being paid to. Like, that is violent producing behavior that creates a society that is a misogynistic society.
Yeah.
And then, so instead of providing the narrative of, oh my God, women are angry, not only should women be angry, but I'm fucking pissed off too.
Exactly.
And now we can do something about it.
Yeah.
Now that produces a change of you being angry and understanding why this person's angry, and now you're just gonna join a force, a powerful force for good, because anger is a powerful force for good. It is. It's when we abuse our anger, or when we resist our anger, or when we use our anger to only fuel more hate, right? It's how can we change a patriarchal society versus just focusing on the fact that it's misogynistic. It's a patriarchal society that fuels this misogynistic society, and now being males in this patriarchal society, we are the only ones that can change that.
Mm.
We're the only ones that can, as males, say we're not going to produce violence towards women. We're going to uphold our women. We're going to value them, and more importantly, we're going to remind them that we love them and we stand with them in this act of violence towards them. We're not going to reproduce that, and that's we do that by inviting in the anger and asking the anger, what can I change here?
Yeah. Man.
What is it that I can change? Well, instead of saying the B word so loosely, recognize the historical trauma of the word, and recognize your audience when you're speaking to your audience. So it's recognizing to address women in your conversation, address women. I love how Vettel talked about how when we talk about the Chicano and Chicana movement, to talk about the Chicana part in the movement, because they were key as assets to this movement.
Exactly.
They were key folks that helped continue the movement moving forward. And so it's not just talking about the Chicano movement, it's about the Chicano movement, and how together we build a world where people have rights now. People have human rights, and there's still so much work to be done. To recognize that, because it doesn't stop, and it has to continue. And so what are we going to do as it continues? Are we going to continue to keep the women in the sheltered part of it, the conversation, or to invite women and to engage in conversation with these women? Porque solos no podemos. O sea, si queremos a cambiar lo que es la cultura negativa, tenemos que entender cómo nosotros somos negativos y cómo podemos cambiar eso. Porque el enojo es lo que nos va a ayudar a producir el cambio. Y es el mensaje del enojo, de cambiar.
Yeah. Change, guys. Change.
Change.
Heck yeah. So, where we at?
Beautiful.
Heck yeah. I mean, it's very beautiful. You know, we have to change. I mean, a lot of people don't like change, and very drastic and very instantly. But even if we take our time, put in the time to change, no matter how long it takes, as long as you gave it a try and you actually dedicated your time to that, that's what counts, rather than not even giving it even a chance. So, yeah, heck yeah. So
that is what counts.
Heck yeah. So there you guys have it. Some positive vibrations, some positive vibes. You know, stay positive. I mean, let's make 2021 make it a more positive than previous. But I I mean, it's there. It's within yourself. So it starts with you. Once you start expressing positive energy to others, it starts to ricochet off everybody and start hitting everyone else. So heck yeah, yeah, like we said, positive vibes. You have anything else? Anything you gotta say before we end this one, Nano?
It's such a good vibration.
Yeah.
It's a sweet sensation.
Seashell.
Oh, dance it off. Worst comes to worst, dance it off. Your body is when we can't control anything. What you can't control is the music. And put some good beats on, whatever it is for you. Vibe it out and a seguir adelante porque apenas estamos en el 10, tenemos 21 días para este mes y todavía nos siguen otros 11 meses and it's gonna be a great one.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Alright, Famcast. Alright. We thank you guys for supporting, and we're sorry for how long this episode took to come out. But we promise you guys that we're gonna get back to routine and start trying. We're gonna try to get them out every other Friday or every Friday. But yeah, that's what's on our agenda is to keep trying to put out this content out for you guys. But yeah, man, stay positive, and we out, Famcast.